Yo patrons, it's Johannes from Noisebud, and today I'm releasing a new build of BassFlip. I was hoping to be able to release this as the first official version 1.0, but it's not. It's still a beta. It's beta version 0.97. As you can see, the graphics has been a little bit updated with a text over describing all the different functions, which the last version didn't have. And also there's a new function called loud. And this is the function we're going to talk about today. Let's start with just demoing how that sounds. So we're gonna start with BassFlip as in the default position, and that means the loud is off. When you press this, then it's on and a little LED lights up. So we'll see if you can hear a difference when I use this function. Let's start with that. Yeah, and thanks to PO for letting me use his music. It's really that's nice. He makes good stuff. All right. I hope you could hear a little difference, that it got a little bit louder. And let's talk about this function a little bit. It doesn't work with phase. It's phase liner, this thing. What it does is, from a technical, it's a bit hard to explain, but what it does is that it tries to exchange low end for loudness, which kind of isn't that hard. A EQ will do that, but this will try to do it a little bit more intelligent. So hopefully you don't hear too much. Right now it's about 33%, which is the default position, and the default position is also that it's off. It's not activated as a default, and it shouldn't be, for good reasons. It sounds extremely good at times. It sounds so good so that in some masters I skipped the compressor and I skipped EQ and just used this function. At other times it just kills all low end and it sounds like crap. So you need to test it to see if it actually do anything good or not. All right, let's push this thing and see how much loudness we can get without completely kill the low end. So let's do that. With both the phase rotation and BassFlip activated and loud at max, we get about almost 3 decibels of loudness added. So you can clearly hear that. Does it sound good? I don't think it sounds good at the max position, no. But it's louder. So it's that. But I actually think for this music, I think around 33%. Let's start with it at the bottom and see what we can get away with. I think I end up around 30%. That's what I think sounds okay most of the times. The thing is that this function is loudness compensated in itself. And there's a reason for that, because when it wasn't, you just felt that all the energy from the music, it was like turning down the level. And that's not, it's hard to hear if it's beneficial or not when it's not loudness compensated, especially when a function lowers the level. So I decided to loudness compensate this by default, so you can't turn that off for this function. That means that in some cases the peaks from BassFlip will be higher than the incoming audio. And the whole point with BassFlip is really to use phase rotation to lower the peaks. But I think that as long as you are aware of that this function is loudness compensated and you add gain when you're starting to raise the function, and you can also cut those peaks off a little bit by using phase rotation, the phase rotation function, the main function in BassFlip. So you end up with about the same height of the peaks anyway. Or otherwise you can handle it down the chain, so you can probably back off the limiter a little bit if you need to. But I haven't felt that it has been an issue at all. So that's it. I'm gonna play around a little bit with the setting. I'm gonna try to get as much out of it as possible, and we're gonna engage the limiters and see how that sounds with this music and so on. So this, from now on, it will be just kind of a demo of me turning knobs, not speaking. So you can just listen to what this plugin can do. All right, here we go. Yeah, that was it for today. BassFlip 0.97, and I hope you have a nice evening, and I see you with the next plug-in. Bye-bye.